We start by preparing the beef with a wet marinade for velveting. There is a card up above which will show you how to dry velvet should you wish. To do this, we thinly slice beef of choice, in my case 340 grams of beef medallions. Beef skirt is usually recommended however, but this is difficult to get a hold of where I live. Once the beef is thinly sliced, we're going to coat it in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. To that mix we're going to add 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce and around 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing. We then give this a good mix, ensuring the beef is thoroughly coated before leaving it to rest for around 2 hours. This ensures the beef is succulent and tender when being cooked and eaten. We then get hold of a mixing bowl. With the rice noodles we're going to add around 1 1/4 cups of rice flour, followed by 1 1/4 cups of water, a pinch of salt, followed by 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch. It has been suggested that you could use cornstarch if you're unable to get hold of tapioca starch. We're then going to give it a good whisk through before straining through a sieve back into another mixing bowl. We then finally add 1 teaspoon of oil onto the surface of the mixture and we leave this to rest. Before using, we're going to ensure that we give this mixture a good whisk because the rice flour does settle at the bottom of the bowl. The cooking method I used, I did modify slightly from what I'd read. I used 2 oiled 9-inch cake tins and placed 1/3 to 1/4 of a cup of the rice noodle mixture in each. Therefore, one can be cooking whilst the other is being removed and sliced. Bringing a pan of water to the boil, we place one of our tins on the surface of the water. Because I have a poor choice in pans and a small wok, I had to make sure that this was carefully balanced so the mixture did not slide and allowed it to cook evenly. However, this did take 3 or 4 attempts before I learned that covering the pan during the cooking process leads to a much firmer and moist noodle and therefore stops the rice noodle sheet from cracking and drying out throughout the cooking process. Once it's cooked, we can lay it on a oiled surface before lightly brushing more oil on the top of the noodle. This allows us to avoid the noodles sticking together when we contain them for later use. So we take our noodle sheet and we are going to thinly slice it into around 2 cm wide pieces or strips. We can then place our noodles in a container where these should be good for at least 24 hours to 2 days. However, I left mine to rest for around 2 hours. When cooking, they really do need just a quick warm through. For the final part of the recipe, we're going to heat a wok till smoking and add 2 tablespoons of oil before adding our velveted beef and browning that quickly in the pan and then removing. Once the meat is browned, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil to the wok before frying a thumb-sized piece of ginger that has been peeled and sliced. I like to add a bit of water at this point to help deglaze the pan. Once that ginger cooks through, we'll our browned beef back into the mixture. And once that's heated through, we're going to take the greens of 5 spring onions and slice them into 1-inch strips. In this case, because I was making it for 2, only around 2 to 3 went in at this stage. I do have a small wok. So we'll heat that through, gently tossing through the pan before adding 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. Again, we stir this through, again keeping the ingredients on a medium heat and gently tossing through in the pan before adding MSG, sugar and white pepper. When that's cooked, we add around 50 grams of bean sprouts. Now these take very limited time to cook, so we're going to do this is literally the last couple of minutes of the dish. Once our bean sprouts are added and cooked through, we can then finally add our rice noodles to the mix. At this point, we're going to roll the mixture or gently toss the mixture through the wok, as overworking this can break the rice noodles, so we need to take this final step very carefully. Finally, we throw in some spring onion greens to add a little bit more colour and texture to the dish. Before, as an optional step, if you like a slightly sweeter dish, we can add 1 tablespoon more of Kesap Mani. Mini Faceless loves the stuff, so whenever we have Chinese, it's always got to be added either within the dish or on the side for her to dip food into. The dish is now ready to serve. And there you have it, Beef Chow Fun. A heartwarming dish, perfect for these cold winter months. Thank you so much for watching. If on Facebook, please feel free to comment, share, save or follow the page. Remember, my videos do appear first on YouTube, so please make sure to subscribe over there. If you are on YouTube, please leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, grab a friend, get them to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification button to see more weekly videos. Stay healthy and see you next episode.